my portion control. On the day of the comp though, what's important? Portion control. Go through a little bit of this throughout the day. Hints and tips. As you noticed with some of the regional competitions, or I noticed the portion controlling was a little bit too large, or some was a little bit too small. And when you look around you at the regional competitions, you probably would have seen the same. And you would have seen the same at Penrith, Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, you can either take that right off, which will really narrow it down, right?
Yep.
Or you can leave it on. The choice is yours.
We might leave that on.
Because you've got like the back piece of it there.
Yep.
Because it's like going under the wall. So I can leave that bit on as well.
Alright, do it. Yeah. So what's so important when you're cooking, guys?
Flavour.
Who said that? Well done, buddy. What have I got in front of me? What have we got in front of me? Seasoning. Okay. Flavour. So, another big important issue on the regional competitions, there was a lot of flavour missing. So you've got to be very mindful at the grand final, plenty of flavour. Okay?
Any questions about what I've done there? Pretty basic. So we go back in the workplace and knock that over. Have a crack at it.
Yep. All comfy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll whack it on there, mate. And you might notice every bit of meat that Cole's prepared has got no slash marks in it. So you've got to be very careful when you're trimming not to cut any slash marks. Okay, because that's technique and skill which you'll be judged on. So what's the most important thing? What do you reckon, Chef? Use a few of these.
Yeah, always season your meat.
Sweet bread?
Oh, sweet bread.
Yeah, we'll do the sweet bread first.
Yeah, all right. Just sweet.
How many use pepper when you seal meat off? I'm not a massive fan because pepper burns, so it just changes the flavour of what you're cooking. So you can always put pepper on afterwards, but when you're actually sealing, you don't want that burn flavour to go over your meat. So
Rod, can you press the camera while you're there?
You're just going to do sweet bread? Okay, so this is the sweet bread for the fourth use. Third use, sorry. Third use. These are small sweet bread. Anyone ever tried them?
What is sweet bread?
Mark?
Just blend in.
You got toast and then you just sear it.
Okay.
Get nice and punchy texture.
Yeah, so you enjoyed it?
Rod, you can put the camera back. Come back to you.
That's a good butcher, Cole. Yeah. Thanks, Cole. Very nice. Okay, so there you have a sweet bread. Getting good at that, aren't I? Okay, so you know what to do with it. If you don't know what to do with it, look up on Google. You always get plenty of information on there. Okay? And ask your chefs and apprentices and whoever may help you. Rightio. Let's hear it for Cole. Thanks very much, mate. But yeah, look, it's so important to present good meat. Look at that, no slash marks, it's very neat work, and that's what you've got to do on the day of the competition. Okay? Any questions about those? Because that's a very important part of your comp, is preparing and skill and technique in all areas, not only the meat. Rightio. What are you doing down there, Chef?
Mate, we're going to do the scallops with the mushroom tibia. Who's got that as their entree? Any questions to start off with about the dish? You know what the tibia is? Notice it?
French pie.
Sorry?
French pie
Yeah, exactly. Good.
comes from that actual place.
There's different ways. I've done a mushroom duxelle. So that's basically you blitz mushrooms and you're reducing all your, or evaporating all your moisture out of them. Dash of cream, bring that right down, Monte butter into it, season it up, and then you put it into your puff pastry. We have got something there earlier. A size like that, I'd probably only give one, going with probably 3 scallops. You can go a little bit smaller, but they start getting really fiddly to play with, and the puff pastry will blow out. So just be careful on the sizing that you're going to play with. And I'm sure you've all cooked scallops before. So this is really just about presentation. I mean, it's keeping it clean, detailed, and not cluttered. So, as you know, the first thing that eats the food when it comes to the table is your eyes. So you want that visual effect just to go bang, wow. So.
Bring that plate up, Chef.
Yeah, might as well.
In front of the seasoning. I've got to think about seasoning. Yeah, you have to plate up here, mate.
I think another thing we noticed with the competitions also is temperature control. You're in control of the stoves. Don't just whack it up, smoke your pan, turn it down, because that flavour of the oil is going to change, and that's going to add to the food that you're cooking. So really watch what you're doing with the temperatures. What do you reckon, Rod?
I reckon I'm getting hungry. Chef?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry, mate. Sure. Learn to start and bite.
What are you doing, Chef? Seasoning?
Seasoning always brings out the flavour. Even when you're making sauces, soups, even if it's just onion and garlic, salt, bang, out comes the flavour. Starts the process.
If you notice on any of these media chef shows, all they really use is salt and a pepper. Mainly salt and pepper. As you said, to bring out the flavours. I always like to experiment a little bit further, add some extra flavours into it. Go through your dry store and see what you've got in your dry store at home or your work area. Try to go through and pick out a dozen marinades for a ham or a basting procedure. I just go through the dry store and say, right, that will make one, that will make another, and so on, right down the track. Even if you've got to reduce some down by 2/3 for a basting material, you just go through your dry store and say, yeah, that'll go with that, that'll go with that. And it works beautifully. Okay, you just got to use your imagination and think outside the square.
And that's what food's all about, it's trial and error. Some things go, some things don't. The things that don't, you won't do again. So, there you go.
Remembering you're going to be serving on warm plates, okay, where applicable.
So it's still the same process, 2 plates, one
Two
for
plates.
judging, one for...
Yep.
Nice fine dice too with the ratatouille. Nothing chunky, nothing large, keep it refined. And again, it's totally up to you how you want to present, but this is how I'm going to show you, just to sort of so you can visualise, and then you can go away, you can practice with your head chef or get ideas off your peers or...
If they copy off you, will they win gold, Chef?
Maybe $100 in the pocket. As you can see, I've got the shakes. I'm a little bit nervous as well. I know, a big cuddle from Roddy.
So everything you put on your plates must be fine, and it must be well, you've got to try to make it look the wow factor. It's got to be colourful. Okay, so just take your time. You don't have to rush when you're presenting. You can rush when you're preparing if your workflow is good, but don't rush while you're putting it on a plate because you're going to slip up and you're going to make a mess. Then it's going to put you back. Then you've got to change your plate. Then you've got to wipe your plate, etc., etc. So try to make the presentation as wonderful as you possibly can. Can you move the plate? Yes.
Will they be getting salmon eggs? On the
Salmon
main
roe,
farm?
yeah.
Yep.
We'll use this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So that's how I'd present without the shakiness in the hands. So nice clean separation. Make sure you clean your plates before presenting as well, on warm plates. Season your food. Another thing also we notice in the trials, no one's tasting as they're cooking as well. I mean, you should always have a spoon in your mouth tasting what you're just about to plate. That way you can correct your seasoning. Add some water if your juice too sticky. So yeah, just taste. Because how do you know what you're sending out to the customer? And that's how chefs get a reputation, is by tasting their food and presenting food that they're passionate about. So that's the scallops.
Okay, so you can see it's not oversized. Portion control is excellent. And you can change your tortilla any way you like. You know, you can make a parcel out of it. Traditionally, it's a pie, isn't it, Chef?
It is, yeah. It's an enclosed pie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, as I said, that's duxelle. You can just do wild mushrooms, just saute wild mushrooms off and just sort of mould them into the pastry.
I've had a couple of phone calls to say, can I serve an open pie as a tortilla? And I said, well, you're thinking outside the square.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem.
yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But if you want to encase it, it looks nice. And when you cut it, it certainly looks nice too. But make sure you've got flavour inside the pie with the mushrooms. Okay? I think that's a very good, very nice dish. Who's hungry? And we'll leave it there until later. Thank you, Chef.
No problem.
Well done. All right. Hey! Okay, so I'm just going to, right, this is for second years. See how many second years you got here? Whoa! Okay. I might do two up. Notice how I prepared my plates. Can you see how clean they are? Alright, how do you clean them? You can do vinegar. I didn't use vinegar, I just used water and a paper towel. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. That's a nice plate, isn't it? Le Cordon Bleu, they come to this tape. I don't, you might use it. No, I won't, I'll use those two. Okay, we'll use these two. So, second use, you've got cheesecake, yep? Here's some we prepared earlier on. Alright. Now, a good way to do cheesecake